Hey, well, today we have yet another review for one of my guitars that you've never seen on video before, but that all changes now, I guess. So, yeah, this is well, again, like some of my failed Strat projects, which were ordered with basically a blank neck with which I had a lot of plans. Um, this one was very similar, just that it was an LP, obviously. And the thing is that, like I said, in my other videos, it kind of annoys me, like really pisses me off, because it kind of defeats the purpose for why I'm buying certain parts and so on. When I'm ordering things and I ask for no logo or there's no logo in the ad itself, and then you get a logo which basically makes it a fake copy, whatever, fake copy, a fake. Yeah, I wanted to do some special thing for the headstock and whatever. Now I would have to basically just take this down, and yeah, it just adds a lot more work. I'll see what I'll do, but despite from this inconvenient thing, like, yeah, it's kind of like a small inconvenience, quite a big one depending on how much time I have or I don't have. This thing is actually super, 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 super. Worked the neck just a little bit for the frets. Now the action is as crazy low as for all my other guitars. Kind of like it has this. I'd say, I don't know, the color is kind of like a blend of a cherry burst and a honeyburst. On video with these settings that I have, it probably looks a lot more like a cherry burst, but actually in reality it kind of looks like yeah. If you would take a cherry burst and a lemon burst and you would average them, you would go for something like a honeyburst, and this is kind of like a variation of a honeyburst. Anyway, it's just a little bit more saturated on video than it is in reality. But that being said, pickups are amazing. Everything else is amazing. It just came with like a crooked, cap here. I mean the switch ring. Letters were all messed up, just out of whack, almost at the very edge of the disc. I just replaced it. Apart from that, nothing really to complain about. It's just one extremely well built guitar. Like I said, a few modifications here and there just to make it perfect. It has a little bit of a flaw in the finish here. Not really sure if you can see. Yeah, it has. Yeah, there we go. It has sort of like some drops of paint, something like some red flakes from the back when they were probably spraying the red, amber, whatever. But apart from this, really stellar guitar. Yeah, it's, I don't even remember this thing. And yeah, Ah. Yeah, still haven't played guitar in 2 years. Same situation as before. Uh, Still don't have an amp. I mean, I no longer have an amp since I'm no longer playing guitar. But yeah, you'll have to excuse me for not giving you a proper sound demo. I just wanted to basically mark this off in one of my Guitarded uh, video reviews, you know, and just give you guys a glimpse of how this baby looks. It's a book match top. Obviously, in certain angles you cannot see the book match. In certain angles you do see it, because what happens is that when you make the book match, if you know anything about the process, when you basically flip the wood over, the grain flips, but also the direction of the grain flips. Therefore, it's not just the texture, like the pattern that flips. It's also the way in which it reflects light. So usually, what happens is, in one angle you'll see kind of like, for example, this side is a bit brighter, and like this side here is a bit darker, and then at one point you'll kind of see them transition into something different, and now it's like almost invisible. And yeah, then if you go into like other angles, it changes again. So yeah, the lighting here is not that good, but I think you know what I'm saying. You've probably seen this on multiple guitars multiple times, especially like super high-end Gibsons. It's not like a factory thing, or like the fault of the guy doing the book match, or the painting or whatever. Most of the times it's just this. Yeah, the let's say grain changes the way in which light is reflected due to the incidence with the wood grain. But apart from this, really, it's an amazing guitar. I no longer remember the chords. Yeah, again, playing all the wrong bands on this thing that should be kind of like a slash only music inspiration. What else to say? The scale is actually correct for Les Paul, so it's not the 25 and a half, or not even 25. It's like 24.75. It's 24 and 3/4. It's actually a bit. It's different. On one hand, it's annoying for me because I have like these, huge wide hands with really long fingers. So it really makes things a lot more crammed, which for me, even like on a normal guitar, it's already kind of crammed, depending on the thing that I'm playing, and the key and whatever. But usually in the upper register, I really have a very hard time just squeezing my fingers like in small patterns. I usually, like, if there are, let's say, 4 notes or even 3 notes, usually one of those notes is sacrificed, and I kind of miss it just because my fingers rub up against each other, and there's not enough space. With this thing, it's even more difficult. However, it's also nice because I don't know, it just gives like a different feel, and also like the tension and the way the strings vibrate on a shorter scale, together with the you know LP specific pickups. Usually have these chrome plated closed humbuckers. Whatever. They don't really need to be like original Gibson pickups or whatever. The whole combination with the scale length and everything else gives a very clear cut and sturdy and crystal clear sound and ring to the notes, which is something that you don't often get with the other guitars, like the Strats or pretty much any other guitar. So a lot of times when people say, the Les Paul has that sound, like brand sound, whatever, doesn't matter. Some of it, I'm not saying all of it, but some of it has the explanation in what I just said, which actually brings something new to the table for those guys who are playing guitar. No longer this guy. But still, I mean, yeah, really, really great guitar. What else to say? Well, I guess not that much. I messed around with a lot of accessories and colors and whatever. Fine tuning and matching colors, but at the end I just settled for this. Initially, I changed the strap buttons to more LP-like buttons, and now it's back to more Strat buttons. Doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, it's I'm changing things every now and then. So that being said, I guess, yeah, I will no longer bore you. One last thing that I wanted to mention probably is the amber tint on the inlays and on the binding that should match the rest of the cream accessories. Usually what happens with let's say cheaper guitars or knockoffs or whatever, even with some like Epiphones, if I remember correctly, and yeah, I'm not mistaking them for other situations with other brands, but still, usually what happens is with guitars that are not Gibsons, not originals, the binding oftentimes has color variations that kind of break the illusion in a negative way. Sometimes, for example, you get some tint, some of that nice cream amber tint from the finish itself, the lacquer. However, underneath the binding is like super white. So, for example, when someone makes like a round off from the factory for like the fret ends, they kind of scrape just a little bit the last portion of the binding, and in doing so they actually expose like a pure white binding, which completely looks off. And it's like on the side it's great, and here it's not, or even the inlays. Personally, I don't really like it when the inlays are like super white pearl inlays, and the rest of the guitar looks like a bit aged with cream and whatever. I kind of like them to have that vintage custom shop tint. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but I think you can. And yeah, also with the nut, the same problem. Sometimes you get like a pure white milk color nut, like wall paint, whatever. It just doesn't look right. So what I did for this one, I tinted the shit out of it with basically some of those super like highly concentrated dyes that you add just a few drops in like a whole bucket of paint, and you change the color I used that raw on all of the elements that were, like I said, pure white, in contrast with the other things, including on the inlays. The inlays I had to basically sand just a little bit to expose the pores, so that the dye would catch onto it, and it would bind inside the micro scratches, and then I polished them, and then obviously in doing so you remove some of the illusion, and then I dyed them back, and so on and so forth. Plus a little bit of sun, a little bit of keeping it super closed in, like in a case or a gig bag. With what I found is kind of like a nice trick. I kind of found it by myself with some of my electronic gadgets that were just aging like nothing else. Whenever I was storing them in cardboard boxes, so I kind of added some cardboard. So in the end, it has this permanent tint that no longer goes away. It doesn't rub off on the fingers. So yeah. Just wanted to mention that this actually took a lot of time for me to get just right, including for the nut. This is not a cream nut. This was like super white, and I just wanted to tarnish it just a little bit. It also looks a little bit like, let's say, not scratched, but used is what I would say, and that was exactly what I was going for. I wanted to have like some fine grained scratches in the nut slots themselves to have that wannabe dirt color around them. It's kind of like, again, some dye around there, mixed with some other things, and like solutions that just soaked into the pores. And at the end, this is the result. They all match, so I'm really glad and happy with the final result. Too bad I'm not playing it for now. Basically, yeah, every now and then, every few years, I buy like a Les Paul style guitar, because of a certain memory I have with one of my friends, who's no longer here. But yeah, yeah, it is what it is. So this is kind of like my second Les Paul within the last few years. Probably they come and go, and yeah, it's not gonna be, certainly isn't the first one, and it won't probably be the last one. Let's see how it goes. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this. How does it look? You guys like it? You guys hate it? Do you hate this thing that happens oftentimes? Because really it pisses me off. It's like adding a lot of unneeded work on top of all the things that I already want to do. So basically, sometimes you're searching for guitars with certain things, and they don't have it. Now I was searching for something that specifically didn't have the logo, and it does. And it's not the first one. My Fender copies are exactly the same thing. Just one of them I managed to get right with no logo. All of the other ones, basically, yeah, they show no logo, because obviously it would be illegal for them to sell and so on. But then when you open the mailbox, it has a logo, and I specifically asked for no logo, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, let me know what you think of the guitar itself, and until next time, just